Hi there, dear guys and girls. I'm Petra, life coach and advocate for survivors of narcissistic abuse. I thought a very important topic to bring up today. I think all topics surrounding narcissists and their targets are important, of course. But this one in particular, about the relationship between the empath and the narcissist. Now, being an empath, I can relate to this as well, is that it can be a gift and a curse at the same time. When you are an empath, you feel things at a deeper level. You are in tune, you're very fine-tuned to the emotions of the other person. It is literally feeling what they are feeling, whether it is sadness, happiness, anger, whatever the emotion may be. This is what we feel intensely as well. And we try to save the world. We try to save others. We try to make others see a certain positive perspective. So we tend to push. We tend to become quite controlling when trying to show the other person which way to go. So there is a form of control there as well. This is because we are looking to save the other person. So this is really the curse, when you try and save the world at the expense of your own worth, your own values, your own happiness, your own peace of mind. This is what has a serious toll on our bodies, on our minds, on our emotions. And we are also very in tune with the narcissist. Again, because we recognize the wounded child, we recognize the trauma that they themselves may have been through. This is what we are trying to help them to fix. So we will stay in the relationship way past the due date. This is what we always do because our intent is to help. So it is all about, the narcissist has the focus on me, me, me. I'm all it. It's about me. It's about my ego. And the empath, we point to the narcissist and say, yes, it's about you, you, you. So the narcissist is getting a double whammy here, where they are feeling the king or queen of the mountain. And we are also feeding into this by saying, yes, it is about you, and putting them on a pedestal and feeding their ego and coddling them. So this is how the dance between the empath and the narcissist starts. And this is when we become enmeshed with them, because all they want is to take. Remember that the narcissist is the energy vampire, the emotional vampire. They take and take from you, and we as empaths are willing to give, give, give. So this is where it comes to the point where we feel exhausted, emotionally and physically exhausted, because it's all about giving. And we try and set things straight in our mind when the narcissist attacks us, when they gaslight us, when they make us doubt our own perception. We try to look for the good in that, try to get answers, try to make sense out of nonsense. And this is what causes the terrible emotional exhaustion and physical exhaustion as well. So what is really going on? You know, if you look at it from a scientific point of view, we talk about mirror neurons. Now, mirror neurons are brain cells that are responsible for our compassion and for our empathy. So this is when we can relate to the other person, because the brain cell, this part of the brain is so well developed. We can literally, emotionally relate to the other person. So very empathic, high sensitivity as well. And you can see this, for example, with a baby. You know, when you have a little baby, and when you can use them as a mirror. So when you look at the baby and you smile, the baby smiles back. When you stick out your tongue, the baby sticks its tongue out as well. When you are sad, the baby is also sad. So this is the mirroring. This is what is going on in the mirror neurons. Or twins as well. I'm sure you've often heard about twins, that one is on the one side of the country and the other one is somewhere else. And the one twin gets into an accident or is feeling sad, is feeling hurt, is feeling happy. And what does the other twin on the other side of the country feel? The same thing. This is the mirror neuron, and the twins are very in tune with each other's emotions. And the mirror neurons are also related, to empathic and social behaviors. So this is what we teach our children when we are looking at them and we're trying to get an expression out of them. This is where it all starts. We start helping the baby to develop that side of their brain, the mirror neurons. So this is how they reflect back to us what they are seeing in us. And it has to do with feeling. Of course, a baby does not have that level of thought yet. Of course, they have thoughts, but underdeveloped. So when a baby looks at you and mirrors you, this has got to do with their feeling. They are feeling these emotions from you, and that is how they imitate them. So it's not about thinking, it's feeling. And this is the same thing when we are in relationship with the narcissist, is that we as empaths can feel their emotions. It's not the thinking that we do for them, it is the feeling. And the narcissist cannot relate to the feeling of the other person, and that is why there is no empathy. They can think things through. In very many cases, there are very many narcissists who are highly intelligent. They are only using their thoughts, their brains, but they are disconnected from their emotions. So whereas in some stages of the relationship, the narcissist will mirror us, will display the very same behavior, good behavior, that they show to us. And this is how we think that we are dealing with a healthy person. This is why we go into serious doubt when they abuse us. We tend to stick to that feeling that we got of when they were mirroring our good qualities to us. And this is what we tend to stay focused on as empaths, when really it is them mirroring us without the emotion attached to it. So when this happens, this is also the reason why a narcissist can never love you unconditionally. They cannot show compassion, they cannot show empathy, because it is all thought related to them. They are just using their logic to imitate you. They are not adding their emotions and feelings to that. They are void of that. And of course, what also plays into that is that a narcissist has no conscience whatsoever. And that is why they do not have any trouble abusing you and I, because there is no conscience, there is no emotion attached to that. So an empath will often find it a challenge to distinguish their own feelings from the feelings of the narcissist. So we will, especially when we are discarded, we will try and relate to the narcissist from our own feelings and emotions. And also try to make sense of it, let me put it that way. When we have been discarded, when we have left the relationship, we will try to make sense out of nonsense. So we will try to start to think like the narcissist instead of trusting our emotions, trusting our feelings, trusting the feeling that we got from the narcissist when being abused. Because that is how it usually starts, is that you get this feeling of anxiety. The moment you have to meet up with a narcissist, when you hear their key in the door, when the phone rings and you see that it is them, we get this uneasy feeling. This is what it is all about, is that it is emotional abuse that you are going through. It is a spiritual abuse as well. So there is no point in trying to use your logic to make sense out of nonsense, because it is all based on emotions. As I just said with the mirror neurons, that is where you can apply that to understand how your brain works. Being an empath, being a codependent. I mean, now I'm focusing on the empaths, but the same goes for the codependents as well. An empath is they are really in the flow of life. They are the writers, the speakers, the artists, the very creative people. They are the ones who have great listening skills. And also, because you have such great listening skills, you will find that people will come up to you, strangers, and pour out their whole life story to you. And I remember before I became accustomed to the idea of being highly sensitive and being an empath, I remember standing at a bus stop, waiting for the bus to go to work or to go to school, and people would come up to me and strike up conversation, and within 10 minutes I had heard their whole life story. And I didn't get this. I thought, why would you walk up to me and tell me your whole life story, But this is because people can sense, again, or who are also in tune with their emotions, they can sense that an empath is a good listener and a very confident listener. And what I mean by that is that they can confide in you and their stories are safe with you, with the empath. And people feel this, and this is why they do it. This is why they feel attracted to the empath. It's also, when you watch a sad movie, you will find that empaths will sit there bawling their eyes out. If it is a war movie, you will feel the shock of watching the stuff that went on during war. You will literally be able to feel the pain of the others, which can be a very terrifying experience sometimes. So whatever we are, we are so in tune with the emotions that we can feel, of course, what the other is going through, and we match our emotions to that as well. So it is also that when you are abused, when empaths are abused by the narcissist, you tend to question your own behavior. So this is why we have sometimes struggle or find it a challenge to become angry with the narcissist. It's more that we become saddened by their behavior, and we take on that load by looking at ourselves and thinking, maybe there is something wrong with me. We blame ourselves a lot for the behavior of others. And when we see, sometimes we get a glimpse and realize that it has nothing to do with us. It is not because of us that the narcissist is behaving badly. But when we get a glimpse of this and realize this, that is when we go about trying to save the narcissist, trying to get them to therapy. We try and love them more. We try and understand them more. But this is, again, at the expense of our own peace of mind and of our own joy and happiness. The empath will also feel a very strong connection to the narcissist, very strong. And I've seen it recently. I won't mention your name. There's a lady that I have been working with in the past couple of months, and she goes on a date and has recently met up with a toxic person, but even within the first or second date feels this intense connection to this person when she really does not know him. This is also the downside of being an empath, is that you feel immediate connection, and usually we don't realize why this is. But this is because that, when the brain starts working again, the mirror neurons, is that we are trying to match up to their behavior, trying to show them through the mirroring, showing them that there is a good side to them, and that is what they need to look for. And we try and understand why they are mistreating us. We try and understand why they have said certain things that are so hurtful. So there is such an extreme attachment that we also feel that we will never be able to live without this person. And this is also why when there is a breakup, we feel so hurt on the inside and we feel like we're going absolutely crazy. And at that point in time, we feel that the only solution is to run back into relationship with the narcissist in order to soothe the pain that we are going through. So the narcissist knows this. The more love and compassion that we give them, the more control they have over us, over our emotions, and over our feelings. So it is so important to realize that the more you give, the more control the narcissist has. So what we are in fact doing as empaths is giving our control away, giving too much credit to the narcissist, pouring too much love and compassion into them, and it is not being reciprocated. And this is what needs to happen in a healthy relationship. When you give, you receive. And you don't give with the intent of getting. You give with the intent of creating it's a movement. It's a give and take. And that is what ensures that you have harmony mostly in your relationship. It is a give and take. It is a very natural flow to a healthy relationship. But when we are in toxic relationships or unhealthy relationships, we give and give and give and just never receive. And this is what wears us out. So the manipulation and the gaslighting tactics will cause the empath to go into severe depression, go into panic attacks. You get to the point where you think, I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. I just feel so tired and so depressed because of what the narcissist has been pouring into your brain, sucking the life energy out of you. This is literally what is going on, and this is why you feel so full of anxiety. You are very vigilant. You are very depressed. This is really what is going on. And you know, the antidote for that, for the empath, is to start to set boundaries. You need to set boundaries with the narcissist. And I know it can be a difficult thing, because once you have shown enough courage to set those first boundaries, of course the narcissist is going to fly off the handle. They are going to be enraged, and they will make out that you are the victim. They will say to you that you are the selfish one. You know, isn't that fascinating? When you set a boundary, when you confront a narcissist, they will flip it around and accuse you of being selfish. If you say, sorry, I cannot make our 2 o'clock appointment, I can make 4. I can meet you at 4 o'clock, but not 2 o'clock because you are setting a boundary. The narcissist will accuse you of being the self-centered, selfish person. How dare you set a boundary? So yes, they will get angry. You know, the very fact that they are getting angry is showing you that you have set the right boundary. So the antidote is self-care. You know, when you are looking to secure yourself, protect yourself, remove yourself from these toxic situations, you have to practice self-care. The narcissist will make you believe that you are not meeting their needs when really it is the other way around. So when you as an empath step up to the plate, set your boundary and say, look, I have certain needs as well in this relationship, and I feel that they are not being met by you. Again, this will be answered with rage. How dare you be so selfish? Don't be so sensitive. That is another thing that you will get thrown into your face. but it is the truth. You know, when you anger the narcissist, or when you invoke that anger in them, it is really showing you that you have made the right decision, setting a boundary, taking care of yourself, showing them that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of protection, you are worthy of a healthy relationship. They do not want you to say this, because they know that as soon as you become aware that you are taking care of yourself, that you need to practice self-care, that is when they realize that their days are numbered, that you are going to leave the relationship, that they will no longer have that control over you because you have in effect taken that control back. They do not want to hear this from you. So this is where all the anger is coming from. Again, just realize that the anger, when you have started to practice self-care, is showing you that you are on the right track. So find that balance. Honor your feelings. You know, as an empath, as a codependent, as any target of narcissistic abuse, as any survivor of narcissistic abuse, it is so important that we learn to talk about our feelings and learn to honor what we are feeling. Because when you learn to honor what you're feeling, when you learn to honor your intuition, listen to it, follow it, it has your best interests at heart. When you learn how to do that, that is when you are going to start to heal. Because that's what it is all about. It is about healing your feelings, speaking your truth, bringing your feelings to the surface, looking at them and healing whatever wounds you still have. And also holding on to that gift of being an empath. As I said at the beginning of the video, an empath is a gift and a curse at the same time. The curse is, of course, when we are involved with narcissists, and the gift is when we step away from these toxic relationships and start to help others in turn. First help ourselves, and then help those of us who are worthy of our love, our attention, and our compassion. So hold on to yourselves, codependents, empaths, and really just wonderful people. Instead of labeling yourselves, just realize that you are a wonderful person who is very worthy of love. Take care of yourselves, and speak to you all next time. Bye for now.